Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. Aloha, and welcome to another episode of All Intuitive Conversation. I'm Felicia Miller Johnson. I conduct these interviews all with the hopes to encourage me, my guest, and you as a viewer to live smart and ascend to new levels of work life success. So today I have the pleasure of connecting with the first time Luis. So let's bring him to the screen. Aloha.
Aloha. How are you, Felicia?
I am doing well. I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about you. Thank you for being open to having this conversation with
Thank you
me.
for having me.
So tell me, where are you at? Where are you logging in from?
I'm logging in and broadcasting from Sacramento, California. Shout out to all my folks in NorCal.
Yes. So
But
are
I'm
you
originally from the Bronx, New York City, and will never stop repping.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I know for me, I can relate to that. I graduated high school in Jersey, and so I've always just kind of still had this like East Coast
Yeah.
this vibe with me. So for sure. So how did you get from New York to California? Because that's two sides of the coast. How did
Yes,
you do
it
that?
really is. I followed my heart. I had an
Mm,
opportunity to either continue a career path that wasn't aligned or to step into all of that fear and just see what would happen. And what ended up happening
mm,
was I moved to California on a whim. It was a decision I made 2 weeks after, getting a severance package from an employer and running into the wind. Showed
mhm.
up in California with no job, no vehicle, no network of, besties from high school or anyone that were there, and I hit the ground running. And I was very focused on manifesting a life that I wanted, a career that I wanted. And what ended up happening was I was recruited from spending so much time on LinkedIn. I was recruited
Yes.
by LinkedIn, and that catapulted the rest of my career from there.
Wow, awesome. I love that you went because when you said the whim, the card that came out here was this teenager here sitting on this stuff and all the little whimsical butterflies going by. But it says on the card logical, perspective, insightful, blunt, and exciting intellectual challenge. So definitely sounds like it was a challenge for moving from New York to California.
Yeah.
But it also says here brilliant insights, information that you need but might be challenged to receive. Review all documents very carefully. So you said you did it on the whim of moving from California, I mean from New York to California.
Yeah.
And you did it without having, like you said, this kind of community. So when you get there and you arrive, you think what? Because I know you had to be in shock already just from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
scenery difference.
Yeah, thankfully, my best friend lived in San Francisco, and so did her family. So I had some familiar faces, and who kind of showed me the ropes and guided me in figuring out, where to get my oxtail and plantain, and where to, vibe and get good coffee, and all those little things that really mattered to me. And in the
Yes.
process, I just remained open to smiling at people, shaking hands, and just letting the process really unfold. Always knowing that I trust myself to make good choices.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the next card came out here was the theme of sovereignty. And the trigger statement says, what will they think? But the true statement says, I navigate through life with ease. And so it was like you navigated that whole transition, with ease. Like I said, you used your resources that you had. And it says, now you must claim your energetic independence. Cut the cords to lower vibrations. It's time to ascend.
Ooh,
And
timely message and received.
yeah. So tell me more about how that resonates with you right now.
I think for myself, when I think about where I'm headed, I've been working and serving companies in the vein of building my own credibility, skill set, network, and really out of curiosity to understand what's happening behind the closed doors in the boardrooms, etc.
Yes.
And I've met the wizard and the Mad Hatter and everyone along the way. And I feel really compelled to share what I've learned with those people who haven't had the opportunity to walk those halls or step into those rooms or, contribute and impact in the way that I have. And so I've been sitting with the question of, if I was already the best at what I did, how would I be spending my time? Rather than trying to build myself up, how would I show up if I knew that I'd arrived? And that's what I've been sitting
Amazing, because you got four cards that came out
with.
from that. So let me just show you what came out here. You had leader, which is resonating with, because on your profile it actually says a global revenue enablement leader.
Yes.
So leadership is definitely there. It also has here concept of happy, and it
Mm.
looks like she's looking out on the California coast. You also have nourishment, and it's this whole connection of what are you feeding yourself energetically in your body. But then you also had fire that came up in this whole excitement and just fireworks and being able to control that, because that's definitely a situation from the move and things could have
Mhm.
gone awry. But you had it all in control in that sense. So the question that's kind of coming through is that as you're now working and you took this chance, tell me, what is it that really lights you up? What sets your life, your fire? What sets you ablaze? Not only professionally, but personally.
Yeah, on a very, very personal level, I want to be in a position to take care of my family.
Mm.
And I want to be in a position to choose how I spend my time. Right. When I think about, ascension, next level, or next act for me, I want to step away from building and I want to get into the zone of creating. Right. And so the
Mm.
fire for me is this urgency in figuring out that path, so that I don't absolutely need to be plugged in for someone else's mission or vision.
Well, the energetic vibe that you came out here, Luis, is giraffe, and it says foresight. And as it says, you are able to see what is in store for the future. Here's what it says for you. It is so easy to get your nose stuck to the ground and only pay attention to what's right in front of you. This is especially true when the world is making hundreds of demands on you and there is no time to stop and assess where you're going with all of this. Going with how you can just be busy, and you said you wanted to take the time with your family, right? The delusions of urgency that grip us, so many humans, prevent you from looking ahead, from taking time to look into the future and consider the consequences of your present actions. Yes, it's good to live in the present, yet at the same time, it can be equally important to see what lies ahead and set your sights accordingly. Even though no one can predict the future with any absolute certainty at this time, you can see with great clarity what lies ahead. So pause for a few minutes, take a step back, and look forward. What do you see? What do you want to see? It's only when you stop and look at the horizon, what's right in front of you, you can get a glimpse of what's to come. Then you can set your intentions and organize your plans in according to what is yet to be. Other associations, prophecy, risk taking, which is what you did, the history of taking that move, right? And gentleness. So tell me, Louise, what is it that you see for yourself 5 years from now?
I see myself living a really fulfilling life surrounded by people who validate and affirm and hold space for me. I see myself speaking to audiences all over and sharing my perspective. I see myself being inspired along the path by the stories that I hear from other people, and then walking through doors that I didn't know existed. And as far as how I move through my day to day with joy and without anxiety,
Yeah.
that for me is really what how I want to live.
Yes. Well, the thoughts and highlights that came through the what you said is here is this giraffe. And like you said, as you said, talked about walking through doors. The encouragement that they're giving is walk tall. A
Mm.
giraffe's walk is very distinct. It's like when you see them, it's like grace. And sometimes you wonder, like, how are they doing that? You would think they would just immediately just fall over, but yet they don't. They just gracefully walk. So the next question is kind of coming through. Looking at your link here, and it says "Learn from Louise." Tell me more about that.
Absolutely. I am going down this journey of, as I mentioned, sharing my perspective, the things that I've learned, the ways that I've moved, the ways that I failed and learned very honestly, right? I want to be that bestie, primo, someone that you can turn to when you have no one else in your corner who's been through what you've been through and is available and open and transparent. And so I've started developing coaching and learning experiences, really with that intention of, for those individuals that are ready to do the work for that ascension, giving
Mhm.
them the perspective and the tools and that confidence to move forward on their terms.
So the next card that came up was talking about your individuals who you work with, and this is what it says. The trigger statement is: I made so many mistakes. That's the trigger. But the true statement says, I let it all go. Everything you have done up to this point is leading you to where you need to be. Let go of the past and be here now. The
Mm.
next one that came up says the theme of liberated. And the trigger statement says, what happens next? True statement, I am divinely connected. Dear soul, please remember that you never walk alone.
Mm.
How does that sit with you?
It feels it feels aligned. It feels like what you're sharing with me is that I'm walking in the direction I need to be walking. I'm thinking the right thoughts. And I'm really, as I think about like stepping away from, fear and stepping into abundance, I feel like I've gotten just all the signals that, yep, green light, like we got you.
Yes. And it goes back to this whole thing. I don't have it here, but encourage you to at some point like go to YouTube or something like that, and watch the birth of a giraffe. Have you ever seen that before?
I want to say maybe at some point I watched like BBC, documentary or something.
Like the birth of a giraffe. A, the mother is standing. They don't lay down, and it's like the giraffe. This one particular video I remember back was like the giraffe just like drops
Yeah,
out of the mother whole, like on the ground.
yeah,
And at first it gets up and it's like wow, it's like really kind of wobbly, unsure. Then within like minutes, doop, 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 I'm just like, walking. So it's kind of like that is the encouragement as you're transitioning. And like I said, there's individuals that may have a rough start, but somebody else is watching this. You may have a rough start, but
yeah,
just get up, maybe a little wobbly, and keep going.
yeah.
Continue to be encouraged in that sense. So the clients that you work with, because I can see energetically what kind of came through, who are the individuals that would come to Louise and says, I want to learn from you? What is that person like?
Those are individuals who have a sense of purpose, right? They're not just in business because there's, an intention to grab money real fast.
Mhm.
It's grab money for psychological and physical safety. It's grab money to invest in local businesses, support. politicians that are aligned with policies and the kind of things that are important to those individuals. And in that same vein, they are also creating business models that have some sort of social or equity component to it, right? We're making money and we
Yep.
are giving something back in the process or creating something for someone else in the process. And so, yes, I work with a host of practitioners and online businesses and startup founders, all who walk with a sense of purpose and are pursuing a light that's guiding.
Yes. So Louise, I was energetically connecting and say, okay, who can come alongside and guide Louise? And you have Lady Porta,
Okay.
and her concept is divine order. Do what you feel is right. An
Mm,
important lesson is unfolding. Here's an extended message for you. Right now, a call for justice is being brought into your space. Even if this means you will quote unquote lose out, there really is no loss in the highest state of truth. Act from the heart. See the other person's point of view and surrender your pride so that you are coming from a loving space. If you made choices that weren't for your highest good, admit it. Through this honesty, you're releasing any karmic bonds or anchors of fear from your energy. Take the time to learn from this situation. And if you're involved in any legal issues, know that Lady Porta and the angels of justice are gathering around to honor everyone involved.
received. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
so
Thank you. Thank
welcome.
you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for being open to having this all intuitive conversation with me. For those individuals that says, yes, I want to learn from Louise, how can they reach you?
I appreciate you for this experience and for this space. And for anyone that wants to connect with me, head on over to learnfromluis.com. You'll see all my training and all my coaching options there. But more than anything, connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know if our conversation resonated with you today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being a guest, and thank you for those that are watching. If you're interested in being on All Intuitive Conversation, send me a message via LinkedIn. You can also learn more about the show from, of course, this YouTube channel and from All Intuitive Conversation. Thank you for watching, and this has been an All Intuitive Conversation.